Hello, everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a general and timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. So I'm seeing the Ten of Cups and the Hermit. You could be in a space where you're really thinking about what you think your pursuit of happiness looks like. Like, what does that incorporate into your life? Like, is there something or somebody that you want to connect with? Is it something outside of that? How do you feel about your mission? How do you feel about your purpose? I'm just seeing a lot that's being, a lot that's sort of tumbling around mentally, and you may be trying to figure out like what aligns with your pursuit of happiness right now. I'm seeing this be more of a preemptive space. I'm not seeing you necessarily immediately take action. It's more so like a review of like what's actually bringing me happiness, what's not bringing me happiness, and just taking this space to reflect on this. You may be socializing less. You may be sort of keeping to yourself right now. You may be pondering more. You may just feel more quiet, things like that with the Hermit. Maybe more private with how you're feeling. Maybe more private with your emotions as well. This can also be too, like, sometimes I feel happier when I'm by myself, like when I'm not engaging. So that may be something that's happening as well. Like feeling better taking time to yourself. That may feel more stabilizing for you at times. Or it's just like a break that's needed. Okay. I'm seeing you really working on advocating for yourself, setting boundaries, using your discernment as well. This is you figuring out what that looks like for you, right? Because setting boundaries is going to look different for each of us. Advocating for ourselves is going to look different for each of us because we have different things to advocate for, different things that are important to us. So you're like learning your own way. And I'm not seeing this be the beginning of the process. I'm seeing this is something that you've been doing. I'm seeing like a seasoned energy. I'm seeing you be in a space where you're like, I want to effectively be able to know like when to share my heart, when to protect my heart, things like that. Like I'm definitely focusing on this Queen of Swords, this little heart right here that you can barely see. This is somebody being in a space where, this is you being in a space where Queen of Swords is you being open to hearing other people out, but not just taking them at their word. It's really checking back in with yourself and being like, do I believe that? Like, how do I feel about that? Not internalizing projected energy either. This is about protecting yourself and letting things bounce off of you when you don't want to internalize it, when you don't want to take it in. And like learning the difference too between like who you can trust and who you feel you can't trust, who you feel is honest, who you feel isn't honest. And that's not about judging the person. It's more so about you understanding like what's real to you and what's your truth versus what's not. What aligns with you and what doesn't, especially mentally. And you protecting your mental space too. It's also about using filters. It's like how you treat different people differently, you know, like some people you'll tell intimate details about your life, other people it's not appropriate to be doing that, and knowing the difference between the two, being mindful of what you're sharing, being mindful of what you're exposing, all of that stuff, all of these concerns of the Queen of Swords. But I'm seeing this mostly be like wanting to know when it is appropriate to employ self-protection versus how do I know when I'm safe, and like knowing the difference between those two. And how to speak in alignment with what's going on internally as well. How to create that reality for myself. How to take action in a way that feels good to me verbally, and how to be confident in doing so. I'm also hearing something about sharing as well. I'm seeing a lot of blue all over the place. Blue's associated with the throat chakra. This may be an opening for you. How to say things that feel empowering to you. How to show up for yourself in an empowering way, verbally, too. This is also knowing the difference between when to listen, when to speak, when to process, all of that. What you're thinking, communicating what you're thinking, knowing when it's appropriate to say what as well. There may be somebody that you're feeling, but you feel a little bit confused about what's going on. I'm seeing somebody that you feel attracted to. I'm getting confirmation of this. If you know how you feel about them, you may not know how they feel about you. Or just something is unclear about where things are going emotionally. I'm seeing something about the past having to do with this. This is like, I want to show up in a way that feels good. Like, I'm definitely seeing this person see you in a very empowered light, but you may be working on seeing yourself in that way. And there may be questions you have about what feels appropriate to you as far as how you want to initiate things with this person and what feels right. Because I'm seeing you definitely feel a little bit on guard. I see you perceive this person's energy as being very distinct, is the word that's coming through. This is somebody you look at and be like, wow, this person really, they like command the room in a way. They may be somebody that is like pretty assertive. You would see them like that with the King of Wands. Somebody that is like a straight shooter too. Like, think of fire signs. Gonna like initiate things, gonna get things done, like motivated, spiritual, in touch with what moves them, things like that. Passionate. You're working on your confidence, I'm seeing. It seems like you find your confidence through the way that you speak. Like, I'm seeing the voice be a very, very important aspect of this. Like, a key aspect of your confidence is connected with your throat chakra. You may be questioning, I don't know, something about, like, how does this person feel towards me? Like, do they find me attractive like that? I'm seeing questions come up, but I'm seeing a couple different roles that you're playing, which may throw things off sometimes. Like, maybe you're trying to, like, intertwine multiple faces that you're wearing. Because it's all you, right? It's just like these different aspects of you that you may at this point be trying to integrate, but figuring out, like, what does that look like for me? So you feel sad about the way that something went. So much so that you may actually decide to pull back from something, take a break. It's interesting because with the Queen of Wands, this can be you being in a space where you're like, wow, I feel really empowered by this, or like I feel really good within like myself, within my energy in this moment. But then I'm seeing something feeling disappointing. I will say this too, like for some of you, there are 3 people involved in this process that I'm seeing. I'm seeing 2 feminine figures, 1 masculine figure. It does not have to do with gender. It's just the way that somebody is currently exhibiting their energy. But yeah, I'm seeing like somebody wants to connect with another person. I'm seeing this be something going on with the feminine energies, like one feminine energy wanting to connect with the other one, but feeling like the other one isn't open, maybe because of something else that they're dealing with. It's kind of like Queen of Swords has something going on with the King of Wands, but Queen of Swords also has something going on with the Queen of Wands as well. I am hearing troubleshooting. So like somebody's over here in a space where, like, what does the Queen of Wands want? What would disappoint the Queen of Wands? Queen of Wands would feel disappointed if they don't feel they're being, like, recognized, appreciated, supported, if they don't feel like they're being valued, if they feel like they're being dismissed, because Queen of Wands is somebody that's confident and, like, doesn't necessarily look for other people's approval, but wants attention from the people that they want attention from, okay? And I'm seeing that somebody may have sort of, Queen of Wands could have been talking to Queen of Swords, and Queen of Swords could have been a type of way about something where Queen of Swords can sort of shut something down. And then I'm seeing, like, somebody over here feel disappointed, maybe both of these people, just because of the like, karmic outlay of what's unfolding currently. I'm seeing something feel stressful, but it seems like it's connected with a masculine figure. And there being something, again, like, unclear emotionally that's going on the side of the masculine figure, is what I'm seeing. Which may kind of throw a curveball in all of this. And a decision needs to be made. I'm seeing Leo on the bottom of the deck. I'm also seeing Venus, seeing Jupiter too. So you're over here trying to work on being self-assured by using your voice. I'm seeing you feeling disappointed, feeling sad about something. There may be something that you're grieving. There may be loss that you're feeling. But I'm seeing you try to work yourself up to being in a space where you feel empowered about the way that about the direction that things are going in, where you feel like maybe you have a sense of control that maybe you didn't feel like you had before, or you have a say in something that maybe you didn't feel like you had before, trying to step up in that way, like really trying to show up in that way, really trying to embrace your divine feminine energy, which is like your ability to be receptive and in tune and in touch and feeling things out and connected and intuitive and all of that, and creative and abundant. Feeling in step, feeling in touch, and seeing where things go when you feel empowered, when you're making decisions that feel empowering to you rather than decisions out of fear. I'm seeing that you're going to need to step it up and make a choice, but I'm seeing this feel stressful because of the lack of emotional clarity that you're facing right now, but you feel like time is running out and you have to make a choice, but you're like, how am I supposed to make a choice? Like, you're out here feeling like this. Like, you're stressed out. Like, there's too much going on emotionally. It's almost like I see this as being so much that it's hard to process. Like, I'm feeling stressed out, which makes it harder for me to regulate my emotions and for me to understand and to process. And now I feel like time's running out and I have to make a choice. But how am I supposed to work with that when I feel like there's too little time and not enough, like, clarity? And so I'm seeing that kind of be where you are with things. We're going to keep going, though, because I feel like that would be really... I feel like we would be abandoning you to just leave it here like that. To go over the signs again, I'm just looking at Venus and Jupiter connecting with one another. They're actually aspecting each other. There's a transit. I think Venus is either in opposition. No, maybe it's squaring. Venus may be currently squaring Jupiter. I don't think it's opposition. I think it's squaring, if I'm not mistaken. I know that there's a current aspect that's happening right now. I do see the Two of Cups, but I also see the Seven of Swords too. This can mean, like, wanting to make sure that you don't go back on, like, any sort of sabotaging tendencies that you know are going to, like, ruin something that you have going on, or you feel like wouldn't be a great thing to add to the mix, decision-wise. I'm seeing somebody conjuring up a message to send to another person. I'm seeing you also be in a space where you're actively trying to create things in a way where you're not sticking around for what doesn't work for you anymore. Like, I'm seeing you want to be in relevant roles that matter to you, but something seems like it needs to come to an end in order for you to move forward. I'm hearing that this has been something going on cyclically. There's this part of you that wants to be able to, like, provide and step up in a desired way. But it means that you're actively going to have to walk away from something emotionally that is not for you anymore. Which, like, the moving on from something doesn't just happen magically. We have to be ready to let go of, ready to shed that aspect of ourselves that at that point in time that thing did resonate with us. But because it doesn't anymore, we have to be ready to, like, let go of that old self that at that point in time that old thing did resonate with. Do you follow what I'm saying? So if you're in a space where you're trying to, like, manifest and create, which is like new life and new energy and new form, whatever you're still giving attention to or giving your energy to that's, like, no longer sufficient or relevant for you, no longer resonating for you, you're going to have to walk away from it. You're going to have to move on from it. You're going to have to let it go also. Which can be hard because sometimes we know something isn't working for us, but we still want to hold on to it out of fear of release. But I'm seeing you, there's also this passion that's driving you to step up in a way that you really want to, that you feel is calling to you. Like, you may feel it's part of your mission to be self-sufficient, to take care of yourself, to take care of others, to be independent, to depend on yourself, for others to depend on you, to be a provider of some sort, to be able to be stable within your life and in the life of others. You want people to be able to rely and depend on you and to lean on you, to trust you, to believe you, all of that. And to be able to show up in a steady and grounded way, too. And to protect what it is that you care about. To be useful. I'm seeing you definitely be protective of what's yours. Like, to have the the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, think about earth signs. Earth signs are about the things in the earthly realm. It's like, what can I gather around me? What can I collect around me? I want to be useful. I want to be financially squared away. I want other people to be able to rely on me, or I want someone that I can rely on, things like that. I want to be dutiful. I want to be responsible. It's important for me that there's, like, quality over quantity. Think about all of the earth sign energy, right? It's about being maybe more slow moving, but doing something that matters to you so you can actually build on top of it. And this is being in a space that matters enough to you to defend it. And it's also being protective of what matters to you, protective of your goals, your family, your home, your resources, things like that. And being in that space. There can also be something, too, where you feel very, very protective over, like, your job or your career, or, like, a particular role that you play. Like, it may hold a lot of meaning for you. Like, maybe not willing to give something up because you're like, but I get all this money doing that. It can be something like that. Or, like, it provides me with the life that I want. The, like, luxury, the things, the material. But not just the material. It's like anything existing within the 3D. But what made you happy at one point in time, like, there may be a bit of a change that's happening. Like, in resigning these obsolete ideas about what your pursuit of happiness looked like, in shedding what's no longer relevant to you, you may be, like, gaining a new perspective and a new understanding of what, like, the current you, what is the pursuit of happiness of the current you, what does that look like? And I'm seeing something here about a partnership, but I'm seeing you also be like, I don't want this to mess up my job. Definitely getting that energy here. So, maybe you don't want something to get in the way of, like, the responsibility that you have. Because I'm seeing you definitely get joy from a role that you play again, maybe multiple roles that you play. You get joy out of being the King of Pentacles, right? So I'm seeing that there's something here about, like, maybe a partnership is also coming to the forefront, and maybe you're considering, like, I actually think that that brings me joy too, but there may be a part of you that's, like, defensive about that, because you're like, again, like, I don't want that to get in the way of my job. This is what I'm seeing. The stuff that I'm building, you know? It can be, but this can be like a scarcity mindset of, like, I'm not able to accumulate or hold more in my life, so now I feel like I have to pick or choose. But a partnership that's going to work for you is something that's going to allow you to maintain balance with everything that you want to be holding. There's something also about potentially not feeling like you're in the greatest spot with somebody that you want to connect with, or you want a relationship and you feel like, where is that relationship for me? Like, where is this person? So it can be a multitude of things. You can have somebody feel like you're not in a great spot with them. You can really be feeling somebody and be like, well, what does that mean for the rest of my life? How's that going to affect everything else? Or you could be in a spot where you're like, I want a partnership and I just don't see one available for me, but I'm trying to connect with that. And this is like a lesson that you're going through that's about integration. It's about being able to integrate the current roles that you play that are important to you, that you want to uphold and maintain, and also being able to not just focus on, like, money and material things, but also to focus on what brings you joy and happiness as far as emotionally connecting and opening your heart up to potentially partnering up with somebody, to, like, have a partner, to, like, love someone, to care for somebody, to have that sort of relationship, and somebody that's also going to support the goals that you have too. That's going to, I'm seeing that, like, this relationship is actually going to be the foundation of you continuing to pursue what matters to you. So it's going to be something that feels very supportive of what you feel is a major part of your destiny that you're here to complete, okay? I'm looking at Gemini, and I'm also looking at Saturn. I'm also looking at Mercury. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups, so if this is somebody that you have, I'm seeing somebody that you have a special connection with. We're just going to leave that over there. I'm seeing somebody that you have a special connection with. And if that's not the case for you, I'm seeing that you're going to be on the lookout for something like that. And you may be in a space where you're trying to, like, wrap your head around what that's going to look like for you to have this, like, work and personal life balance, and to integrate the two where you don't feel like you have to compromise or lose one or the other. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.